So, since the implementation of the GDPR, we all are, I guess, a bit more sensitized when it comes to dealing with data. It's one of the major topics right now. But there are some industries which have always been very harshly regulated. Just think about aviation industry or pharmaceutical industry and also the banking industry. They always had to deal with those regulations and therefore develop strategies for themselves on how to deal with that. Our next happening here on stage, the next Fireside chat is exactly about that question. So how would you successfully do marketing in a harshly regulated environment? And this Fireside chat will be conducted by Özcan, who is a computer scientist and an app developer. And since 4.5 years, he is also working for the sales team, recently heading the regions Middle East, North Africa, and South Europe as a regional director for Adjust. Please join me in welcoming Özcan. Hello, how are you?
Hello, thanks for the intro.
I'll leave the stage to you.
Tolga had to cancel last minute because he had a visa issue. Our speaker, Ayberk, is the head of Programmatic at Akbank. Please come on stage, Ayberk. Have a seat. So, just grab one of the microphones, I guess. Should go, good to go.
Oh.
So Akbank, for the audience, is one of the biggest banking advertisers in Turkey, has more than 15 million clients, and then more than probably 4.5 million monthly active users on the mobile app. So could you just make a small intro and tell us a bit about yourself? What are you doing on a daily basis? What's your role on Akbank?
Sure. I'm leading and running the programmatic advertising and also the affiliate marketing in Akbank. My main responsibility is, driving these channels and also the similar channels performance-based goals, setting KPIs and running them. Also, these processes need a lot of fine-tuning. So, with especially Tolga and the other team, we create and test audiences, funnels, and always trying to gather more information and enlighten our way. So in the other end, actually, I'm also running the process of the DMP, our data management platform, and running ad tech collaborations and business developments.
I mean, we're going to get into details about numbers and stuff later on, but can you just give us an idea? What do you guys do at Akbank? What are your main objectives in terms of KPIs?
Sure. Actually, we divide our KPIs into two models because, even though we are a banking app, the mobile is, dominated by the mobile gaming societies and everything else. So basically, we set a goal for us in web, work like an e-commerce company. For mobile app, we work like online gaming company. So we divide our goals into two parts. First one is the user behavior-based ones. Like everybody, we are also tracking our first-time users, our churn metrics, our reactivated users, and everything else. And the good thing is, as we are a bank, of course, we have a lot of information about our users, and we know the deterministic information, and we know if they are real, what they are doing, the extra details. Secondly, as a bank, of course, we operate for the financial, for getting money. So our sales-based goals, and these are like loan applications, loans, property loans, credit cards, and all kind of banking stuff, actually.
Okay, I mean, it's nothing like an e-commerce or a gaming app in the end, and you guys are facing a certain amount of regulations, I guess. So what you can do exactly and what you can't do from the point of view of the advertiser?
Yeah, actually, in this room, everybody's facing the GDPR, which is the quite hot topic here. So even though we are operating in Turkey, so we have the law named in Turkish KVKK, so which is quite similar to GDPR actually, but there are of course several differences. Like it only applies for the personal data, so corporates are not applied to any data, and also we see that there are some still regulations that need to be upgraded, like forgetting your data or setting your data options as well. So it needs to be upgraded. It's not like fully GDPR, but I can say that it's a draft version of GDPR. And it's good because there aren't any, a good systematic law before that. Now it upgrades the personal law level, and it's recently activated. So we are applying to do that. We also enforced from mobile app to web. We did a lot of work. We did the information stuff. We upgraded our SDKs and everything else. And luckily, I'm working in a bank environment, so people, I can say that, more eager to, pass their information, because we are here to help them for their financial transaction. If I know them, I can show them the relevant ad, relevant product, and I will not make harass of them. I cannot, I will have the better voice, actually, for going to them, if I know better about them.
Okay. And you have different goals, like loan applications, but you're running user acquisition in the site,
Yeah.
and then I know that you also provide a set of tools to non-client audience, so then they download the app, they convert as a banking client in the end,
Yeah.
and then you convert them, I don't know, as a loan application, a mortgage application, and you're running user acquisition campaigns in parallel of retargeting. How do you set your attribution windows, and what metrics are you looking at most of the
Sure.
times?
I'm saying that there is not a written, anything on the rack. So we still testing some of the attribution windows. We constantly looking at, and I can say that it's not the same for any firm or any company. So you should find a proper time for of course, your app, your behavior, and also your channels, because I suggest everybody to use custom, attribution metrics for all the trackers or all the sources, because the SMS or just the typical app network is not the same. So you should expect something different. So in that metrics, if user installs the app, so we face something. So in order to log in our app, use our app, you have to be an Akbank client, basically. So how can we just, turn around this project? So we have a loan application process and credit card application process before login as well. So if you just install the app, and if you cannot log in, maybe you are not Akbank client yet, maybe you don't want to be client yet. So we have an application process for all of them, and it directly, it directs you to our call center. So after call center, for example, for credit card, we know that you installed the app, you do everything. We send the, our, responsible for that, so to get you signed, and you can get your credit card. Because in order to do that, we have to go to our customers' feeds so that he can use our app. In other words, after he become a client, of course we saw that if he's first time, if he's activated, what is his churn metrics, how much product do they have, and also we combined our CRM solutions to adjust, which is quite good. So I will come to that, but if you just log in, and besides, if you do not apply to anything for loan or loan application, I know that if you can get a loan, and also I know that how much you can. So it's the proper way that I'm not showing my ads to irrelevant person or irrelevant people.
Yeah, I'm an Akbank client, and I remember pulling out cash from an ATM and receiving an SMS at the same second, but then I just deep linked to convert as a loan application in the app. So you're combining your marketing campaigns with your CRM data. So you're actually enriching your marketing data with your CRM. Is there any difficulties in terms of regulations there? Like what other regulations applies to you as a finance company?
Actually, of course, we have a supervision agency for the banks, which is called BDDK. So it mainly controls everything you have, and thanks to layest law, the KVKK, which is GDPR for Turkey, it nearly covers all the points, actually. And in a personal level, I also support this process. This is why I started, establishing the data management platform in Akbank, because it has to be done in some way, and you should create audiences, not the data or anything else. Nobody wants to do that. So besides that, of course, we have some regulations, but they are not actually law. We have brand issues, like, you cannot say anything to that. For example, you cannot say everybody that you can get this much of, extra chip points or extra money points if you apply for that. For example, if it's for students only campaign, you cannot show them, because if you show them, you see that they swear you on Facebook, they call your call center, you are, just tricking me, everything else, and in a banking environment, it's bad that nobody likes the banks, actually. It's the sad truth, because...
But you also put your money there, so...
Yeah, it's actually, I think that's because nobody understands the banks. For example, it's a simple fact. So basically, we give you credit card, right? So you use your credit card, and if you pay your credit card in, normal time with the normal level, not the minimum level, we will get nothing. You are a loss for us. You are a loss for bank. We profit from, if you just pay it on the minimum level or anything. So I give you actually a loan for 30 days, and it's free. But everybody has said you are tricking me and things like that. I think it's a financial education. It needs financial education to understand that.
Okay. I know you from your agency background. You were working at Digitouch, which is a performance agency. And then you started at Akbank. What was the first thing that you looked at when you first started? Like, what metrics were there? And what was the first action that you took when you first started at Akbank?
Yeah, it's great. We know each other from, agency time. Then it's sold to, now it's no more Digitouch, publishes Performix in Turkey. So when I, actually, it thrilled me to join the Akbank because it's the first in-house programmatic management in Turkey. So nobody knows even that there is a position for programmatic marketing. So it's a good thing. And when I joined, I actually found that I need to focus on 3 topics at first. So first one is, actually I saw that there is a lack of audience stream. So yeah, we have a lot of audiences, we are using a lot of tools, but they are not in systematic way. So that's why, as I said, I manage my time to build DMP or other products, because it cannot be like, done in a day. It takes many time, it takes a lot of integration.
So now you have 2 DMPs, right?
No, right now.
Trying out both?
No, yeah, right now we will have actually 1 DMP, but I can say that it's true. We use it just as a DMP as well, right? Nearly, because it's my second actually point. I saw we need to get more events. We need to track more things, because, for example, you can track loan usage, but the bad thing about banking is, when I'm selling a loan, I'm showing you the product, so I'm creating an awareness and you want to apply it. But only 20% of all loan applications are approved. So basically, I say to you, hey, I have a loan. Do you want to come? I can give you, but I only accept only 20%. So it's a bad thing. So this is why, for example, before it, we were tracking the loan usage. Now I know loan application and loan rejection. If I deduct it, I can go only 20%, and it will, it will decrease my, the spending. So second thing is that now with Tolga, of course, we track more than 50 events on Adjust, and some of them are both unique, gross, everything else, and this is the second thing that I found. And third one, of course, before I joined the team, there were only, social and the search, as most of the companies. So I showed them that it's not actually, it's not that shit. Because you need to, for mobile especially, you need to work with the partners like ad networks. You need to do retargeting. There's a big retargeting word. And of course, we started working with 2 DSPs right now. Now I can get the premium inventory with, because if you know your audience, if you know what they want, where they are, you can, buy premium inventory easily, because it will be not like the CPMs are high or anything, because you will only looking at the effective CPA, so it's not a problem.
So, I mean, from first day to today, it's been like 1.5 years, 2 years, I guess.
Yeah.
It's been it's been a challenge to change stuff. Of course, banking environment is also quite stable. It's really tough to change. And
especially in Turkey, yes.
Yeah. And what was your, I'm going to cut to chase because we're running out of time slowly. What was your biggest learning curve during that time? Like, if you look back to 2 years ago and now, what do you see different?
I think the biggest difference is actually combining online and offline data, and it's really changed the game. It's really, and it's good to be working in a bank because, as I said, we have deterministic information, and if I connect both my online and offline and all the channels, you can do amazing things, you can do a lot of stuff, and it amazes me, actually.
Okay. Any kind of numbers, results that you can share, and also like maybe a piece of advice for the audience out there?
Sure. For actually, we applied for a lot of awards from starting. We won Mix Europe, we won MMA, we were shortlisted on the Glomo actually this year. And for example, for our secondary app, new app, Access Mobile, we reached 1 million install in month actually. I know that install is not an amount, but I can say that more than actually 50% are still active user, and you need to be a client, so it's good. And also it's an old information, but all of our loan applications, more than 15% is only used by Facebook, so it's a case as well. And the thing is, when I joined the team with Tolga, in 1 year we saw that the loan usage and credit card usage from starting us, it increased more than 50% actually. So it's good, thanks to, of course, the organic increase of the mobile usage, but it increased a lot. And my last word is actually define realistic goals. It's the most important thing, because if you target anything that you do not believe anything worthwhile, you cannot do anything. You should define realistic goals with your team and build a great team, because even though we are in the digital world, the team does everything and you need to rely on them. That's my advice.
I think now is the time that the mobile app advertisers are leveraging their own data.
Yeah.
And then moving forward, I guess the tool sets that we're providing is also important, that you can buy from a variety of sources, and leveraging your data is the key fact that you
I won't say that, I will say that track, of course, track the events as much as possible. Most of the people saying that, big data is no data. I do not believe that. You will use it in the end of the day. You will need it. So I suggest everybody to track the events as much as possible, because it will be, one time you will need it.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And thanks for the audience to listening.
Thank you.